Hello, everyone. I just found this really great article online, and I think I'm just going to add it to what it is that I kind of wanted to do because I was like, man, this is exactly what I wanted to say, but it's much more visually appealing. So, I just want to review a little bit about the introduction because, like I mentioned above, the conclusion, and this is the last part of the series here, is that an introduction attracts the reader's attention. This is again what we call the hook, right? You can do this through a question, through a challenging statement. There's so many different things you could do, right? And the conclusion is actually kind of the last thing you want to do. Sometimes your teachers may have said, you need to philosophize or make some philosophical statement. Well, what they're really trying to say is create another hook idea. And it doesn't have to be the same one as what you used in the introduction. In fact, you want to make a sort of end result that's more of a challenge to the reader. I find that people who make challenging statements at the end usually are the most effective. All right. So it says state your focus topic. And again, these are the main ideas of your essay, right? And if you look back at body paragraphs and introductions, I want to make this clear. Body paragraph one, body paragraph two, body paragraph three. Great, you got your three main ideas. Boom. And then you need to add your thesis statement at the end, which you will read about in module two in more detail. The thesis explains your main argument and your supporting reasons. So that's what the introduction does, right? Is it has a hook. In this case, a little question: do you use social media apps or YouTube? Here, it's all about context, and by context, we're talking about background information. You add the author, the title, the main ideas of your essay. That way, it sets your reader up like a GPS. You're telling them exactly where your essay is going to go, and you're going to kind of follow that pattern, right? And that's actually a key word here that you want to write down. The introduction is all about a pattern. Same with the conclusion. The final thing that you need to add is the thesis statement, which is the sort of main argument that you're trying to make, and then your supporting reasons. So now that we know that, that's kind of a review of the introductions. The conclusion's the same thing, but in reverse, right? Instead of starting with the hook, that's what you end with, but you start with the rephrased thesis statement. So you're saying, now that you know that borders, that it is a that I argued is a very bordered world, that is because, and then you give your supporting reasons once again. Then you summarize the main ideas within your paper. That is the three, in this case, most likely, three body paragraphs that you talked about in your essay, and you write a sentence for each one. And then you kind of end with the hook, right? A challenging statement about the significance of your argument. Will you see the world as a very bordered world now because of this essay? Something simple like that, right? It's a challenging question and a very good one. So I just wanted to, oops, sorry there. I just wanted to kind of show you how I put it here, which is to restate the thesis. In this case, and I put it from a little different perspective, it is important that people always look at inner stereotypes in ways these can turn into visible borders that people cannot easily recognize, which has kind of been the theme of my essay. Now I'm adding in all my main ideas and then the hook ending. And this is a challenging statement. Think about some of the hidden barriers you may have. What will you do? Will you acknowledge these borders or hide them behind a fence that no one can see? And this kind of references something that I call Mending Wall by Robert Frost, which, if you have a chance to read, is definitely very useful. So that's it for the conclusion. It's pretty simple. As long as you know what an introduction is, the conclusion's the same thing, but in reverse order. I think some students have a tendency to believe that conclusions are totally different from an introduction. Therefore, they struggle with trying to finish an essay because they're not sure. But all you have to do is go back to your introduction copy and paste it, and then rephrase some of the things from a different perspective. And that will be the key to your success. Great job. All right. Next thing to do is to actually read essay structure in much more detail, and that will help you out. Good luck.